Mm-hmm. Do.
Hey y'all.
Back again.
You
We
you
are
always
back.
sing it.
Back again. Feel like a long time, but
It has been a long time. Ugh,
it is.
I'm just checking to make sure
Yeah,
this
we
is
gotta check that the technology. It's been down for a while. But it's been down for good reasons. Yeah,
yeah, we've had a
a
lot.
lot going on. All
Hey
positive things.
beautifuls.
All positive
You ain't
things.
got your ring, do you?
My ring?
Yeah.
No, I can go get it. It ain't
No, it's
nothing but up
okay.
the street up real
So
quick.
hey y'all, mine's is in the desk if you want to grab it's okay. Or your trophy. You good. You good. You good. So hey y'all, welcome to an unscripted beautiful life. It's been a long time, we know, but for good reasons. Family first. We'll just say that. We've had a soccer championship.
Yes.
Um,
Not just me. Not just me. She was a part of it too. She can't point this finger. And I guess this was God saying, y'all better get together before I get y'all a championship.
listen,
Because we've Trina's been my team on before. And that year, think about this. Hold up, babe. The year we won the
don't
championship
you? I'm not.
in
Don't you do?
kickball, we won the championship in kickball. She was my team mom. Like, I think that was our second year. Because the first year was somebody else, and it was you, and then we won the championship. And I think this is your first year as my actual team mom for soccer.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. But so that's look, one he peeking. He must have heard champions.
yeah. We
So
talking
that
about
was
this
part of
guy.
the reason. So we were getting prepared for that. So we're back. We're back tonight. Trying to work it out. We got
And we got to add on the other thing. So that was 2 weeks ago now, but we found out that Ariana came to us one day and said, "Hey, I'm trying out for the basketball team," and she made it. And practices have been every day until 8 o'clock.
yeah.
So we've been trying to just work it out so
Yeah.
that
So
way
we
we could
we
get back on.
we were trying to adjust to our new normal of what this looks like for her in particular because she's done sports but
She just
years
following
like
us
three,
around.
4 or 5
Yeah,
like soccer years.
yeah.
So it's been a while, so we were trying to get adjusted to our schedule, but we've worked it out. We should be here on Tuesdays now going forward. We're back. So tonight's topic is bend don't break, and you want to tell where that came from?
Where it originated from, babe,
The soccer stuff.
it didn't really start from
Okay,
there.
well,
So
short version of where it start from.
this mentality started with me in high school. It was something that we will always say. I play offense and defense, but it was something we will always say: bend don't break. Um, because a lot of times when you break, that means that you are, unless it can be fixed, it's broken. Once you're broke, you're broke. So it was like we can bend, but we definitely not gonna break. And as I was, and this has always been a sports mentality. Um, Trina said yesterday, Andre, do you want to? I got a topic, and I'm like, what is it? Bend don't break. Perfect. That's perfect because it's not just a mindset for sports, but this is a mindset for life. This is a mindset for relationships. This is a mindset for your children. This is something that you can really say. And then, of course, like I tell y'all, I always do real quick research. And as soon as I popped it up, I'm like, bend don't break is not going. It's not going to pop up on the internet about this. But when it popped up, it was like, who you did it? This was your topic, babe. But I mean, it's amazing.
So I'm going to share why God said the bend don't break, right? So although you were saying it when it came to the sports and encouraging the kids on the soccer team about how we're gonna go through these different challenges. It's gonna be hard. Push through. I have been. If I feel like I've been at a point where I'm bending and I feel like I'm breaking, but then God always comes in and reminds me that I'm not breaking, that I'm built for this. And so I just kept hearing, like when you kept saying, I was like, okay, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. And understanding that life is going to life, right? Life is, we're going to go through the different challenges. We're going to have those moments where you feel like your feet are just being pulled out from underneath of you, that this situation is going to happen, that situation is going to happen, like all of the things. And you just have to understand and remember that you won't break, that God is going to still God. He's going to still do what he does,
Mhm. As long as you keep your faith.
as long as you keep your faith, as long as you stay, like, as long as your feet stay grounded. It just
Mhm.
reminds me of like the palm trees in Florida, or
Huh.
in my, like,
Or any
or
tree
not,
that
no, it's
not
a
any
palm
tree, because
tree.
there's some trees that
How
do
the palm trees
break.
can bend all the way over, but they'll never fully break, right? That it just reminds me of that. No matter what we're going through, it may feel like we're being broken, right? But think about, we're being broken so that God can reform and reshape us and renew us and re-energize us and recharge us to where he needs us to go. It's like we have to have the things fall off of us
Mm-hmm.
in order to truly become the beautiful that he's created us to be.
So what you saying that, right?
Uh-huh.
It goes back to my tree analogy.
Okay.
Why do leaves fall off? It this this how I look at it, right? God could create leaves to stay on year round. He's the creator of all, right? Everything is intentional. So leaves fall off, branches fall off. That it's not hurting the tree, it's helping the tree. So it's the same thing with us. We're gonna have things that we have to shake off, because we're not a tree. The tree, it just does it on its own. We have to know, all right, this person's really not for me at this moment, may not ever be for me. Time to let that branch fall. It's nothing wrong with that. Now, you always heard the saying, you can love somebody from afar. You can love people
Mm-hmm.
from afar. It's nothing wrong with that, especially if they're not aligning with what you're aligning with, because we can't force nobody's will. They have to force their own will. That person's not ready. So the going back to it, it's been something that I never, hearing this as sports, bend don't break, bend don't break. I never thought that this would be something that I would take into my everyday life. And I Trina knows, I push the kids to a point where I know that they can take it. Um, I am also open with them. If you have a problem with anything, come and talk to me. Come talk to me, so that way we can figure it out. Because again, just like any teacher, right? Any teacher, God is our teacher. We follow God, what the plan that He has for us, right? That's us as human beings. Every day we are teachers without really knowing that we're teachers. We are, what's the word I'm looking for, babe? Trying to think of the best wording. I mean, now that you do this and teaching every day now, you understand, like, you is word. Come on, babe, help me out. Look for the words. I'm looking for the words.
I don't know where you going with this. I can't help right now.
No, you just jump in. Like you say, you're in the pool, just jump in. If it's
Yeah, I
cold,
ain't in the kiss of
if
cold
it,
punch, right?
listen, if it's cold, just jump in. Don't put that foot in, because you ain't never getting in. Just dive in. Um, yeah. So the bend don't break is just never, not like I said, never thought I would use this in my everyday life. I just thought it was a sports thing, but it's not. That that phrase could be in everyday life situations, because again, let's go to work. At times when we want to break at work, but what happens if you break at work? There's a possibility you're gonna lose your job, right? Possibility, a lot of possibilities that can happen if you break while you're at work. It's a lot of possibilities that can happen when you break, if you break while you're at home. Is the bending of it is saying that I can always bend back right. I can always bend back the other way, right? Because when we bend downwards. We can always bend back to our original shape, right? It's hard to put something back at its original shape when it's broken, because you lose fibers here, you're gonna lose things depending on what it is. But it's funny that we say that because if you break an arm, what happens if you break an arm? They say it grows back stronger, right?
Mhm.
So maybe we gotta break sometimes. And
Yeah, but sometimes
some
when that arm
situations,
go back,
right?
if it ain't mended the right way, like they don't put the cast on the right way,
I
then
got a little cousin that's on that,
so.
and so I. Great point.
But
Great
I
point.
just, I just think that we have to understand, like Alicia Johnson, who was on here with us from 12 months before, will say everything is encoded in the process. And so even the times when you feel like there's no beautiful, right? There still is beautiful. Even you can
Always.
still claim, even in this, they're still beautiful. So even if there's a challenge that you're sitting in or that's in your path, you still, God is going to still give you the tools. God is going to still give you the peace. God is still going to give you the right mindset, right? The ear, the words to say, whatever it is that you need to say, or the things that you need to hear to be able to say, I'm gonna be okay. And like, because I know it. Like, what was it? Saturday and Sunday? Not Sunday, Saturday. It was probably Friday and Saturday. I just kept getting hit. It was like Friday. Hey, beautiful. It was like Friday at the school. It felt like it was a Friday the 13th, but it wasn't a Friday the 13th. And it was just like the little kids, like the kids that normally are like the best for me, never have any
You
issues.
got to share your story. What the young lady said to you, though,
Was
babe.
I'm about to was like on 1,000, like on steroids. Like every little kid just and just wouldn't stop. They would. It was like the Halloween, the hangover from all the candy, like hit
Oh,
on Friday.
they had it. They probably was eating it in
And
the classroom.
I finally, it was one little girl. I pulled her up to the front to sit. I'm sitting at a round table. They're sitting all at their little tables, and I'm sitting up. I was like, "Nope, come on up. Your seat is right here with me." So we're talking, and I said, "If your teacher was here, would you be doing all this talking?" So she said, "No." I said, "So why you doing it for me?" Her response was, "Cause you the substitute."
Yeah, I bust out laughing.
And I did laugh.
I did,
I
but she
did
told me the
laugh.
story.
And I said, "But why does that matter?" And she just said, "I don't know." Like she was as genuine because I understand, right? That when you are a substitute, you don't get treated the
You
same
go
as your
get the
teacher because
handful,
the kids aren't used to you.
right?
But I'm also understanding that although I may not be in the classroom with them every day,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much at the school every day.
But
So in some way or another, I'm in a place to be able to see them. So I'm putting
right.
my footprint.
Mm-hmm.
So now when I get back in the classroom,
It's a little different.
it's gonna be a little
It
different,
hits a
right?
lot
And it's
different.
and it was different because it was like on Monday when we got back to school on Monday, when I saw a lot of those kids, they were running up hugging me and like
Different
talking.
day.
So it was a different day.
Night,
Like
like night and day with
it
kids.
was night and day. And it was like it just shows you that the things that you think are going to break you, right? The thing when I was like, oh, this is my last day. Like I'm not doing this no more.
Hey, and it's so not to knock Trina because I see the joy in everything that she gets with this, but I always when my phone ring, I'm like, like, uh-oh, because it's a special gift when it comes to doing God's work. And when I say that because those that are in the education field, those that are in the child field, if you're not in pediatrician and things like that, there's no money in teaching. There's no money in recreation. And that's not what it's about because your riches are going to come to others
From the footprint
from
that
the
you leave with the
from that,
kids.
and they say a carbon footprint from
Yeah.
that carbon footprint that you leave. That's your riches, man. I didn't had my older brother, my lower brother try to get me to change my job and all this, and I'm like, bro, that's not. I don't go to my job because I make tons of money. I go to my job because the impact that I have on these children. I go to this job because I honestly get up every morning, and it's not times that I want to take off because I go to work and this I'm enjoying what I do.
Oh yeah, we know you don't want to take off.
I mean I will.
It's like pulling teeth to get him to take off. But I also am appreciative and thankful for that because I do see how much you love your work, right?
But you get to
Like
see it for yourself now.
so now
Like
I
that
right,
feeling.
so now I get to see that, but that's just it just reminds me of like, oh, at my old job, let me go on. Look,
Man,
we had unlimited leave. Let me go on and take all up, right? Like just understand it. But so I'm grateful because it just goes to show like when you are truly walking in your purpose, that
nothing can break you.
purpose will dictate the flow of your life, the flow of your joy, the flow of the freedom, everything that
Hmm.
you have. Like if you are walking in purpose and walking in the assignment that he has, like the storm, it's hailing, it's winds, it's like tornado season, all of that's going on around you, and you're still at peace.
Because it's not always hunky dory.
It's not.
And and I had a strong conversation with our oldest about this because he's in the teaching field. I had a strong conversation about it. I said, Kayla, I love what you're doing, but you have an expensive lifestyle. And as a teacher, that might not be ideal. But I said, don't allow that to stop you from doing what your passion is, because you don't have to just stop at teaching. If that's what you want to do, that's great. But you can be a principal, you can be an administrator. There's other things that you can do, and you're still in the teaching capacity. Like I said, coming into it, you're not gonna make a whole ton of money, and don't look at it as you won't never. I've never seen a teacher drive a Bugatti. And I've never
But
seen it.
that's not her anyway.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's one of the things that if you don't have that strong conversation with your daughters or your son, and then you just throw them to the woods, it's like, okay, I didn't prepare you,
That was that
and
was
that's in
one
that sense of it.
right. That was one thing I wanted to make sure that she understood was when choosing whatever career path she chose, that she chose it because that's where her heart was
Yes.
leading her and not looking at the money, right? Because how many, plenty of people know plenty of people that have a whole lot of money
Hate
but
their
are
job.
unhappy, right? That hate their job, that hate what they do, but because of they tell you you gotta go and get this job to have all this money, da da da, that's the field. I was one of them, right? Thinking that I had to have the
So let me ask you this,
whatever it
man.
was.
Did you, as growing up, so was it the money, or did you really at some point like being an accountant?
I think I did as I did. For me, accounting was the best of both worlds between math and business,
Right.
right? And but I just think that, when I sit back and think about it, like if right out of or even in high school, because right, I got introduced to accounting in high school.
Oh wow.
If I had been, closer to God, closer to knowing what my true purpose was,
It might
like
not have
would
never
I
went
still
there.
have chosen
Right.
accounting? And I really think that I would. I really think teaching was my thing. I mean, even ask my mom. Tell you, like we were playing school when we wasn't in school, like all of the things. So
Right.
I
That's
understand
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
I knew. I just
Because
it
Kayla,
was
it's
teaching.
and it's so crazy, y'all. I'm sorry to have to cut you off, babe. You should have been, because both of our kids did this. Both of our kids. Kayla was a single child all the way up to 10 years old, and Kayla would have every stuffed animal known to man in her classroom with her as an easel. She had a paper easel and she had a chalkboard easel. And then Ariana did the same thing until Nicholas was born. Now Nicholas is in the class with the stuffed animals.
And my mom, like all of them.
And I still have a video of Ariana doing Sunday school at daycare. She got the kids and they are singing "Oh Happy Day." The kids sitting on the floor. She's not the oldest. She's in the middle because it was Mackenzie, it was Journey was sitting there, Nicholas was there, and then Ariana was teaching those three. It might even been one other kid in there, but but yes, dang, that just hit me when you said that you did this as a kid, and then the
So
kids just mimicked that right away.
I think I know we're supposed to be talking about Ben Don't Break, but here's the sidebar, right? This is the unscripted part of the show. Is that watch the gifts that you see in your kids and allow and like nurture that.
Yes.
Right? Let them flow in it, encourage that flow, because if they're doing it as children, that's something God has placed within them to do, and it's our responsibility to help nurture that, to help bring that to life, to keep watering that plant, so that when they can like really see it,
right,
see it enough to be like, oh, I really want to pursue this.
Really need to do.
Yeah, that
this is
I
my
think
heart,
that's
my
I think that's our responsibility as parents. But I think that means we have to change the conversations with our kids and like understand, like, okay, college may not be for everybody. What's your
I say that, baby.
right, but now I can say that. Before I probably couldn't say that. No,
Right.
you going to college.
Yeah.
But now I understand it ain't for everybody. Like, what's the point of going to college and coming out with $100,000 of debt for something you don't love?
Right.
So
but see, again, right, we can fight this all day long, right? It's changing our narrative to it, because I'm backing what you're saying, because like you say, did your mom push you to go to college? Yes or no? Or your dad did? Or both?
I think it was just, I don't even think it was them. I think it was me. Like, it was just something that I wanted to do.
And so, and I'm saying this, and I'm only saying this because this is something that our parents didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, they wanted us to go to college. Like, I know.
I think that's because when you as a parent, you always want your kids to be better than you, right?
Right.
And so I think for, like our parents, that college was the option because, sports, like,
because
right,
neither one of my parents went to college, so
right.
I couldn't understand why they were forced.
I think the college thing comes up because you want your kids to do better than you,
right?
You want them to have more options.
Mm-hmm.
But now the times have changed so much,
flipped on their head, didn't they?
that there's so much more options, and maybe the options were there before, but just never talked about as much. Right, because trade schools have always existed,
always.
But it's just a matter of
right.
It's just a matter of having the conversation with kids and saying, let's be open, and being open to it. Like, just because you may want, let's say you didn't go to college,
right,
and you like, nope, my kid's gonna go to college. Well, what if your kid isn't college material?
Because everybody's not,
and everybody's not.
And if you
everybody force them, then they get there and they failing.
Yep. And they're resenting you.
And then here comes the resentment. So I think it's really important as a family to understand how you have to have the conversations.
Yep. Open them
what
conversations
is it that
up.
lights your fire? What is what do you want to do for your life? And now some of us, we having to make those decisions at 18.
Yeah. But some of us older than that.
But I'm being like, when you think about you graduated high school at 18, right? And when you're filling out most, right? When you're filling out the applications, it's asking you like, what do you want to major in? I don't know. You know what I mean? As a kid. as an 18, I
Yep.
haven't even experienced life,
Yep. And you
and I'm
talking about
already having to choose.
right. You talking about now what I want to do for the rest of my
Right.
life.
But that's where I
in
think
one day.
but that's where I think if as parents, if when we see, okay, we can see the drive, we can see where the passion and the purpose is
Hmm.
coming from. Hey, let me talk to you about this. What do you think about this? How do you feel about this? And introduce them to different things. Then that will help open up the door to their mindset, like, oh,
That's the
I never
that's
thought about that.
to me that's the biggest thing is not closing off doors for them.
Yeah.
Continue keeping those doors open. Um, because again, I was just talking to a parent today about it. Is the the kids have, to me, just because of technology, they have so much more options. And then everything is like readily at their disposal now because of tablets, the internet, and all these things. But not closing off their imagination to things as well also plays a big part. Because that's how that's where the thoughts come from, is them thinking outside of the normal box. And we say, oh, now you can't do that. Every time we say, now you can't do that, you might be closing off a lot of doors and everything. I, I always tell Nick asks me a question if I don't know. Hey, go research that, John, so we can talk about it together. Because if I don't have an answer, I don't do like, nah, nigga, I don't know the answer. Let's go research it. Because if I don't know the answer, I don't know the answer. Let's research it and let's find out. So it's not closing off his imagination to things. And I was just trying to have a conversation with Ari the other day. Is
We are so off topic.
it's
Yes,
still
we
bending now
are.
breaking, but
How?
you just said it, mate. When I
I
get
was
on
trying to figure
topic,
out how to bring it back.
when I get on, it's all. But no, it's I mean, I guess because of the whole bend don't break, it goes back to circling them that we will break our kids if we take their imaginations, take their close off doors and things like that. We potentially can break them and break their spirit of really walking in their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this guy text so
That threw you off.
yeah, just a little bit because I yeah, but it was from Ari. Um, hey, let me go back. So yeah, oh well, let's go back to my research. So I just typed in "bend don't break relationships," right? And it's awesome on this right here. Bend don't break. The context of relationships means having the flexibility to adapt, compromise with your partner during challenging situations, while still maintaining your core values and boundaries. It's once I heard that, I was like, dang, that's so crazy because flexibility. Do all of us are we very flexible in our relationships when it comes to certain things? uh,
I know I have my moment
do we
when,
compromise a lot?
yeah,
Yes.
it's
I mean, it's like there's like key points and things like this that as I was scrolling, man, I was like, wow, it's amazing to, like I said, this was always sports for me. It wasn't a life type of thing. Just to go back and look at this to see how you could apply all these things to your life, your marriage, your relationships, and like I said, relationships is not just a marriage thing. It's all types of relationships that we have in the world.
you finished.
Yeah, well, you always when I stop, you
I
always
was
jump in.
listening.
Yeah, you always jump in sometimes.
Because it was good, but I want to go back to the adapting part because we talk about the bend don't break piece, and like in I'm be speaking my truth now, right? Sometimes that being wanting to be flexible when like you think it should go a certain way and it don't, of trying to make sure, hey, let me just keep quiet, right? And let me not say nothing. But then you realize the facial expressions. Like if my mouth don't say it, my face will. And I have to learn to catch myself, because like we'll always say, it's not always what you say, it's the tone, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same thing with me and my facial expressions.
If we wear it on our shoulders.
I'll wear it on, not even on my shoulders. Like I could
that's
be
just
sitting here and be like, you really going like, you know what I mean? Like, and I have to catch my.
she's done it on here with my comments. Some of my things I say. But you just don't say nothing. You just keep it
I'm gonna
going.
start wearing a mask,
You just
and
keep
you
it going.
can't see my face at all. Like, don't look at me.
It's crazy because I always say it's so funny how conversations circumvent. Because one of my coworkers just said this today. Man, I'm about to start wearing my mask again so people won't see my facial expressions.
I'm trying to tell you, like,
and that's why I say that's why I say like I'll be intentional and listening.
like Miss Leslie on here, and she always would make a comment about my face, and like she could tell, like she'll just say like your face say it all, and I'm just like it does, but because I'm like I really don't I don't come across the way that I think sometimes it does get viewed as, but then I have to understand, okay, if she's saying that, right,
I'm on
like
camera.
I'm on camera, and like maybe there is some truth to that. So now I'm learning. I have to figure out, like, that's the authenticity that I have to walk in, and like allow my facial expressions to catch up with everything else, because if my mind is saying it, my face is going to show it.
And hopefully the mouth don't say it.
And right. But understanding, like, I have to make, if it's in my mind, then I have to express that instead of just
with the facial expression being
like
okay.
Like making sure that my thoughts are in line with where I need to be. Like before, it was like I done curse you out all in my head, right? And sometimes my facial expression will have indicated that I done cursed you out in my head,
all up and down you.
But just understanding, like, that's where I think really owning and coming into my own beautiful and understanding, like, okay, how can I show more love? Or how can I be more present, instead of like with us trying to get you to rush through the conversation? Like, can you just get to the point, right? That's, I'm always telling you that
every time,
but
that's not my way of communicating.
And that's what what I'm learning, right, is that your way of communicating is giving me all of the A to Z, and the XY double back, coming back, all the way back around, and understanding, like, if that's what he needs, if that's how he needs to communicate to me, to feel present, to want to feel present, feel heard.
But this
then I
is
have
for everybody.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. It is for everybody, because I got a couple of friends that's like you, where y'all got the gift of gab. And I have to understand, instead of letting it be like, oh, just come on.
Because even if you don't say it, you still gonna say it on your face.
That's where I'm saying. So now it's about me changing my perspective and understanding, like, okay, if all of the commentaries, the dissertations, like, if all of that matters to them and to you, then it should matter to me. And now being appreciative now, but I also understand that if I don't have the time to hear the whole blog, hey, I need the Cliff Notes version. Can we just, I don't have the mental capacity, I don't have for everything. Can you just give me the abridged version? Like, being honest with that. But that's
I don't know how to do that.
But that's the part that I think
like
you have to, Yes, but that's the part where you also have to work with me as well, because you already know there are going to be moments when I have to recharge. If it's been a long day, I can't have a whole book.
You ain't gonna never
I
get no
need
short
the
version with me. So I'll just wait till you can. I'm just being honest, babe, because if I'm giving you the story, right? I'm giving you the story. I gotta make sure you get the meat, potatoes, and the vegetables.
I but I
I
don't
can't just give you the side dish. Then you miss the whole entree.
but sometimes then I feel like that's a disservice to me.
So again, that's why I say it will be hard for me to just give you the side dish, and then I'm like, dang, but she missed the whole entree. So I'll just wait till she can have the whole entree. Wait till you had a whole entree. I don't like going to any restaurant where everything's a la carte. That sucks. That's just me. But again, babe, I understand where you're coming from to say I'm going to meet you halfway. You got to meet me halfway as well.
That's what I'm asking. But
That,
it
that's
don't sound like I can get that. Like for me, it's like I'll just wait for
so.
her.
So I gave you the quick version upstairs of something that happened.
But then I had questions.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You answered your
But
own question.
but that was better for me, right? Because it also it causes us to engage. It's not just you unloading and telling me the story. It's like you gave me little breadcrumbs, and because I was in the mood and I had time, I was
Okay.
able to pick up
All right.
and
I
okay,
got it.
let's dig here a little bit more.
I got it, man.
And
I know what
you
you
know what
want.
I'm
I know
saying?
what you want. You don't want the whole movie script. You want to put it turn into a play. I
Yeah,
got you. I got you.
yeah,
I
like
got
we
you.
need to, you
I
know,
got you. You got to turn it into a
listen,
play. Get
listen,
everything all that up,
how do
and
we
we just
get on
go to
this
play.
topic?
Because it's what Unscripted do. Because it's somebody on here that need to hear it. It's somebody on here that need to hear the exact same
Okay,
thing.
so that was topic change number 3.
54. But I think y'all are just getting all the days that we missed.
It
That's it.
could be.
We just
No,
summoned
this
it
is
all
an everyday
together.
thing. This is an every Tuesday
Yeah.
night thing for us. It ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
But no, this was good.
Yeah. So I mean, so I understand, and I'm not gonna say I tried. I'm not even gonna say I tried because I've been doing this for so long that I will try.
I mean, I guess I look at it as um and it could be just like when you think about your job, well, at least mine's right. When we're doing presentations and proposals,
Mm-hmm.
like we gotta hit
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. You got
bullet
time
points.
frames. Yeah, yeah.
And you don't have all and so I guess I'm just gotten so used to that mode of can we just let's get to the point, let's get to the point, let's
I
get to
go
the
back
point.
to work.
Not even go back to work, but so that people can stay focused on it.
True.
Because I observed today they were in PE, it was indoor PE today. And
Was it coach cold too cold?
no, it was in let me say this, it was indoor PE, but in the classroom.
Oh wow.
And so they were playing a game and she was playing hot seat. So where it was cute though. So it was kind of like not Pictionary.
Charades?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like that. So where the one person is sitting in the chair and you had the two teams, and so each the team that was up, they were having to give clues as to what the picture was on the smart board,
Right.
and the person in the hot seat had to
Okay, I don't
guess
think
it.
we called it hot seat. We just called it something else.
We
But
probably
yeah, I
called
know.
it charades. Or whatever it
I'm
was.
someone when I
And
was in school.
so one of the things that she kept saying to them was not everybody talk all at once, because if everybody is talking, then the person that's in the hot seat can't really receive
Right.
what they're saying, because if
Mhm.
they're focused on this person, but this person got the clue and they're going back and
They only
forth.
got 2 ears.
And that's how I think I feel sometimes in our conversation, because it's like you give me so much and so many different topics in one, not even topics, but like you'll start talking about one little situation and then you'll jump to something else and then come back to the first and then go to something else and then so now I'm like, well, wait a minute, what happened here? And you done moved on and then we got to go back. So that's how I think I feel sometimes, as if
I overwhelm you.
that's exactly it. Thank you.
Because that's
I,
what I
that's
get
exactly
when
it.
you like, dude. just stay right here.
Like
Just
land the
stay right
plane
here.
slowly. Like I don't
Nah,
need you to go up and then come back
we
down.
coming. We
Like
coming down with no landing gear, or nothing. You're getting it all at
that's
one
exactly
time.
what it is. And I think, but that's that is this is a learning process for me on how to like decompress and making myself available, like giving myself more capacity to be able to receive
Make a
when
list.
being able to receive when you're ready to communicate.
So, what you saying? What you just said, right? Me helping you, and then you helping me, right? I was just sitting here as you were saying this. I'm listening to you, but I'm hearing in my head. You have to learn to try what she's doing because everybody, if I'm at work and I'm trying to go to another job, that could initially can affect me going moving to the next position because I'm giving you too
It's
much.
like you gotta learn, figure out the of finding the
Reading the
balance
room.
of how to communicate. Yes,
Reading the
reading the
room.
room. Because like you ever had them things like you somebody called a meeting and you be like, oh, that could have been an email. How many times, right? And
Not
that's
gonna
where
speak
it
on that
becomes,
one.
but that's where it
But it's
truly
true. That's
becomes.
true.
It's a matter of balancing, of finding the balance. But it also, I understand too, technology has made it harder, I think, for a lot of us to communicate because we're so used to, okay, that let
I
me
can pick
just
the
send a
phone up right
text,
now. Yeah.
right? Like most people are going to be more inclined to text, right?
Mhm.
But someone like you, nah,
Um,
I need you to pick up the phone and call me.
I don't like text messages. I don't like emails.
But but
And
that's
this is just a personal thing for me because I've had this happen to me several times where people read too much into the text or read the text out of context and an email out of context.
but that's where I think, but that's where if you also look at your personality type, conversation, right? Ignoring the fact of how people always get out of the contact
Yeah.
as an extrovert, right?
Hmm.
Engagement with people is going to drive you.
True. True.
Whereas me on the introvert side, a
See.
whole lot of conversation. Now, if it's conversation that I'm like really into, oh, I can outrun with the best of them. But at some point, it's like, oh, I gotta find a balance.
Hmm.
Like, okay, can we pause for a minute? Let's take a break. I guess intermission. And so it's figuring out. So it's just we don't that was, figuring it out.
That's it.
That's
That's it.
what
Because again, going back to the dang, I closed it off. Jeez, always. All right, let's see. Oh, I did. Oh no, here it is. So show more. All right. So it's some key points. Key points about bend don't break in relationships: resilience, compromise, communication, respecting boundaries. Then examples of where bend don't break might apply is schedule conflicts, different opinions, personal challenges. I mean, and the list goes on.
right there,
Balance
balance is
is
key.
key.
Important consideration.
Balance is key.
That's key. It's
Yeah.
so important because it's like we gotta have balance, but I think also with the balance is having perspective.
Ooh.
You saying, oh, because of what I
Because
said
what
or
you
because
just said,
oh.
and then reading this.
Oh, because
And so,
so here's why I say that. I think because in any situation, we always have to come in, perhaps have to come in from a different perspective,
yes.
right? Like I'm always saying, even in the dark moments, even in this, they're still beautiful. It's about shifting the perspective
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that
Mm-hmm.
although I feel like I'm being broken, right? What's falling off of me? Anger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unforgiveness, bitterness, resentment, all of those different
Those
things,
leaves.
those leaves.
Them just falling.
And shifting the perspective in that and like, okay, the break is necessary
Mm-hmm.
because maybe I'm not walking in love the way that I need to. Or you know, or whatever it
Or
is.
whatever it is. But you gotta but we won't be able to tell you that. You have to see that for
Nobody
yourself.
but God and me. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a conversation. Like I'm up on the hill, right?
Yep.
Up on the mountain. And it's just me and God.
That's it.
And he's telling me this is what's necessary. This is why it's necessary. Because he like, you know that thing you prayed for? you can't completely have that because your patience ain't where it needs
Right,
to be, right?
right.
Or whatever it is. And so when we're talking about, bend and don't break, just shift the focus and the perspective to understand, okay, what's the lesson
Mm-hmm.
that I'm supposed to learn in this very moment?
Because there's a lesson in
It's a lesson in
everything,
everything.
everything.
It's just a matter of us getting still and getting quiet and quieting the noise. One of the things, this is a good that we put this into. One of the things that we're doing in the Beautiful Society this month is called Listen Over the Noise, of being able to give yourself moments of stillness
Mm-hmm.
and quietness, because God is always talking.
Yo, listen, man.
It's just that
Always.
we got so much going on in our mind and our life that we can't hear that.
Nope.
But if we can get intentional every day and get still and get quiet and be like, okay, I'm going to cut out the noise. My phone is on do not disturb. The house is still. It's nobody but me and the dog. And sometimes he's snoring, right?
And man, sometimes he's whining for
But
what?
it's
Who
but it's
knows?
understanding that I have to put myself in a position to be able to hear God, because I'm like, okay, God, I can't do this on my own. I don't understand this. I need clarity. I need hope. I need joy. I need peace.
The biggest thing that I used to tell my youngsters, and I still say this till this day, I'll never know. We have two ears, one mouth, and I always ask us, why do y'all think that is? It's to talk less and listen more. Because sometimes we
Please
just
seek
have to
him.
sit, right? We just have to sit and be intentional in our listening. And I always say this. Whenever something happens, Trina may something, we talking about it, right? And then it turns around, and then this happens at work. I say something to Trina, and I say something to my director at work, or I say something to anybody who is that will listen. I say none of this is coincidental. We got to be more intentional in listening, because it's never ever, in my opinion, coincidental. It's supposed to be like this. If Trina talk about one thing, and then somebody else who don't even that never heard our conversation turn around and say almost verbatim what you just said, that's him talking through people. Alicia says all the time, God talks through what she say, babies.
That's her way of God
Yes,
talking. The
but
drunk people numbers, and
this the thing.
but
Just
that's what I'm
because it
saying.
works
He's
for
always
he's
talking.
always talking. So that's just the point that I'm making, is that he's always talking. Sometimes we're just not intentional in listening. So I don't ever say, oh, that's a coincidence. Nah, God talking to me.
That's a God wink.
That's it.
That's
And
a God wink.
that's how I go about life now. Again, like I told you, I switched my perspective to where the devil is not attacking me, God's preparing me. That's switching your perspective of life. Because to me, speaking of the devil and he's attacking you, that's what you're really doing. You're speaking that into existence. Our words are powerful. So if you keep saying, oh, it's just the devil's attacking me, what do you think he's going to continue to do? You speaking into existence. So don't speak that. Man, God preparing me for what's coming,
Yeah.
because something's coming. It could be coming with the other side as well. But if you switch your perspective away from that to the positive, and surround yourself with positive energy, positive people, that's what happens. Positivity. And it's peer pressure. And we thought peer pressure was just something that you get as a kid, right? Man, we peer pressured all the time. You
Yeah.
peer pressured all the time. So being intentional in your listening, and just enjoy yourself as you do it, because it definitely has shifted me big time. I used to be angry, man. Even in the house, like, y'all feel like y'all still walking on eggshells? I was like a ticking time bomb, y'all, ready to go at any time. And this class alone has helped. Going to marriage retreats has helped. Doing projects has helped. It's-
Yeah.
So don't be afraid, y'all, because that's what a lot of times that's what stops us from doing what we really capable of doing is fear. So don't be afraid to step out on the ledge and just do
Okay.
it.
This concludes our bend don't break version of
Oh,
unscripted.
oh no, let's finish
Oh,
with this. I'm sorry, let's finish with this because this was the last quote. Then it says balance is key. While some while some flexibility is necessary, consistently being bending without your partners reciprocating can lead to resentment and feeling taken advantage of. So I just wanted to finish with that because yes, balance is key, but make sure it's balanced on both ends. Um, because what's that? What's them things called? Balance
the
beams?
scale.
Yeah, the scales. It's just like that. When you put too much weight on one side, somebody feel like they got too much to carry. So
You should have left that part off. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
that's her
kidding.
face, y'all. So she's telling me you ain't pulling your weight. That's what she's saying.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We will talk to you on next Tuesday for whatever topic God puts on our hearts. But we thank you and we appreciate you. Y'all have a good evening.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Man, you can't say that. You live.